his presidency was eclipsed by the issue of terrorism, violent and intermittent action that have political and ideological purpose but are not backed by a state. During Clinton's presidency, terrorism was on the rise. In 1993, World Trade Center bombing. In 1995, Oklahoma City bombing. A series of embassy bombing in Africa in 1998 to the 2000 bombing of a U.S. Navy ship in Yemen. The Oklahoma City bombing was perpetrated by an American named Timothy McVeigh. The others were work of fundamentalist Islamist groups including Al-Qaeda. Each had been founded to fight Soviet in Afghanistan and then expanded to oppose the politics to the Western world because terrorists lacked traditional army and diplomat. It proved difficult to fight them. Fundamentalism, the strict adherence to a set of basic ideas or principles. 9/11. On the morning of September 11, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes in the U.S. 2 were flown into World Trade Center in New York City, toppling the Twin Towers, symbol of American economic world power. A third crashed into the Pentagon, and the first that was headed toward Washington, D.C. was brought down by passengers in a Pennsylvania field. Thousands of people were killed. The nation experienced a surge of patriotism and was supported by allies all over the world. The Pentagon is headquarters of the Department of Defense and is located in Arlington, Virginia. War on Terror. The attacks had been orchestrated by Al-Qaeda and its leader, Osama bin Laden. The terrorists were being protected by the Taliban and the fundamentalist party in power in Afghanistan. On October 7, 2001, the US and its allies attacked, beginning the war in Afghanistan. The Taliban was quickly removed from power. President Bush switched the force to Iraq. He expressed concern that Saddam Hussein had chemical and nuclear weapons of mass destruction, WMD, although many allies asked the US to allow UN inspectors more time to look for WMD. The US, with help of Britain, began the war in Iraq. In March 2003, Baghdad was occupied and Saddam was expelled. He was tried and rejected. Iraq, Baghdad, Kabul, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Kuwait, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Yemen, Oman. Still, the US continued to occupy both Iraq and Afghanistan. No one knows the historical significance of this history is still being written. It's a process of nation building involved maintaining a presence until there was stability in each region, but stability did not come. Insurgent, rebel, were revolutionary, continued to fight against the US military and different Muslim sects, notably the Sunni and Shia, fought for power. On October 2001, Bush signed the US Patriot Act, which broadened the discretion of law enforcement, official investigation of people suspected of terrorism-related act. Many Americans believe this infringed, violate, contravene, infringe on their civil liberty. With no end in sight for the wars, domestic dissatisfaction grew. Bush won a second presidential term, but confidence in him declined as the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan continued. During Bush's second term, Condoleezza Rice became the first female African-American Secretary of State. The Bush administration was tried and convinced in several cases regarding its detainment and torture of enemy combatants in Guantanamo Bay, U.S. military compound in Cuba. It was revealed that the government was illegally tapping America's phone line. The government was criticized for failing to preserve for a respond primary promptly to the August 2005 devastation from Hurricane Katrina, which destroyed much of New Orleans. On December 2005, Bush faced controversy over his decision to launch a program that allowed the National Security Council to monitor the phone call and email of Americans suspected to having links to Al-Qaeda. Bonus section. Really recent history. In the 2006 midterm election, Democrats took both houses of Congress, and Nancy Pelosi became the first female Speaker of the House. Then, in the 2008 presidential election, the Democratic candidate, a young senator from Illinois, Barack Obama, was an even more historic achievement when he defeated Senator John McCain and was elected the first African-American president of the U.S. Probably too soon to study objectively. President Obama ran on a platform of hope and change, focusing on the economy after the tech boom of the 1990s ended and the banking crash in 2008 led to a major recession. Obama promised to boost the weak economy. Healthcare. Obama called for universal health care for all Americans, signing a bill, ACA and Obamacare, in March 2010. Ending the war. Ending the war in Iraq was another priority of the Obama campaign. The environment. Problems like climate change, also called global warming, have been acknowledged but not fixed. Climate change. An increase of the overall average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, partially due to man-made causes. What next? America had made big strides in recent history, from helping to secure the human genome to innovating the World Wide Web. Recent major events include President Obama made history by nominating Sonia Sotomayor to the Supreme Court. She is not only the first person in Hispanic heritage on the Supreme Court, but also the third female. After more than 50 years of no diplomatic relations, the U.S. and Cuba began restoring ties in 2015. On June 26, 2015, the Supreme Court ruled in favor marriage equality in Obel vs. Hodge, which challenged whether state gay marriage bans were constitutional. The ruling requires every state to allow same-sex couples to marry. As America and the rest of the world moves further to the 21st century, it will continue to face issues that divide, enrich, and redefine the country.